Hi, welcome to day 324. In this past week, when we were looking at NTI 2 Corinthians chapter 12, we went through a little inquiry. It started with the inner teacher asking me, "What are you?" And I responded, "I am my thoughts." And the inner teacher said, "Well, if you're your thoughts, in order to really know what you are, you need to understand the origin. So where do your thoughts come from, etc." It was the inner teacher's first time attempting to lead me through a self-inquiry. And to be absolutely honest, the place that I was spiritually at the time, I was not ready for self-inquiry. In fact, I was terrified of it. Once the inner teacher started leading me through that, I got very panicky. I didn't want to go beyond the idea of my thoughts, my mind. What's their source? What are they? What am I? So what I would like to do today is I would like to lead you through a self-inquiry. Before I do that, I'm going to look ahead at the next week. That way we don't have to get into the practicalities after our self-inquiry meditation. So if we look ahead at the next week, this week is going to be a little bit different than past weeks, in that we're going to be listening to a few more audios than we normally do in a week. This week we'll be sticking with NTI Galatians. We'll finish NTI Galatians at the end of the week, but this is the only book that we'll be in. And tomorrow, instead of a reading assignment, we're going to have a video, a 22-minute video by Leo called "How to Ruin Your Own Happiness." And you'll see how the theme of that video fits in with the theme of NTI Galatians. NTI Galatians has a lot to do with judgment, and with judgment being the source of illusion, which we also saw in NTI Romans. NTI Romans called judgment the building blocks of illusion. So day 325, you'll watch a video instead of doing a reading. And then, of course, you'll have a walkabout exercise. The walkabout exercise focuses on the antidote to judgment. That's acceptance, right? You have judgment, which is the building block of illusion, the source of illusion. And then acceptance, which is its antidote, which opens you back up to truth. So the walkabout exercises this week will really focus on acceptance. Day 326, you will have a reading. Day 327, there will be a reading and a 16-minute audio. You'll start the audio at a particular point in the audio instead of listening to the entire audio. So you're only going to listen to a 16-minute section. Of course, if you prefer to listen to the entire audio, go ahead. But my commitment to you is to keep the sitting time as short as possible. So I have focused on the part of the audio that I really want you to hear. Day 328, you'll have a reading, but that's when you'll also get the weekend exercise. And the weekend exercise this weekend is 2 different audios from NTI Galatians. One is 37 minutes long. The second one is 27 minutes long. Day 329, a reading and a guided meditation, which is typical. And then day 330, a reading. Of course, the walkabout exercises as well. So that's what's coming up this week. So, as I mentioned, I want to lead us through a self-inquiry exercise. You could possibly keep your eyes open for this exercise. If you do, you'll want to do like the open-eyed meditation where you select something to stare at. But as you're staring at an object, the attention is really back on you. Again, this is not object consciousness. I won't be asking you questions about any particular object. I'm going to be asking you questions about you. So your attention needs to be on you. You can also close your eyes if you want to, whichever you prefer. Lately, I've been practicing more open-eyed meditation. So today I'm going to keep my eyes open. But you do whatever is most comfortable for you. And I might close my eyes partway through. That's been happening too. I start with open eyes and then I close my eyes partway through. So whatever happens, happens with the eyes. And I want you to do the same thing. The most important part is that your attention is on you as I ask these questions. So start by relaxing. Sometimes people like to take some deep breaths. Sometimes you've probably heard this on the audios. I shake my head. I might stretch my arms, get comfortable, whatever needs to happen to prepare yourself for meditation. And this is a self-inquiry meditation. The real question you're going to ask yourself is, what am I? But we want to do this from a position of self-honesty, not acting spiritual or trying to come up with the answers that we think we're supposed to come up with. We want to look at first, what do we really think that we are? So I'm going to ask you first to look in your memory banks and just look at your typical identification as you go through your days each day. What do you find that you are identified with? When you look honestly at yourself, what do you find that you are identified with as you? One answer that may come up is the body. I am the body. I am this body. Another answer that may come up is I am my thoughts. That voice in the head that seems to be talking and interpreting all of the time. I notice that I really think that's me. I notice that I believe those thoughts. Another answer that might come up is I think I am my personality. And for most people, it's actually a triad of the three. It's the body, the mind or the thoughts, and the personality. That's what I'm identified with. So just take a moment. Look honestly. What do you really think you are? What are you identified with primarily on a daily basis? And whatever that is, let's start with that self-honesty. So for example, you might say to yourself, whisper to yourself, I think I am my body, my mind, and my personality. That's what I'm identified with. Whatever is true for you, say that. Just remember to say, I think I am, not I am. I think I am. And then state your identifications. Now we're going to continue with self-honesty. There's no reason to ever leave self-honesty. But we want to look at these identifications and we want to see where identification comes from. So we've just stated honestly what we're identified with. I think I am. My body, if that's true for you. My mind or my thoughts, if that's true for you. And or my personality, if that's true for you. Or whatever was true for you. Look at those identifications. I think I am. Just slow down. Very slowly say it to yourself and look at those. I think I am. My body. I think I am. My mind. I think I am. My personality. Whatever is true for you, just look at those words very slowly. You're saying the words, you're looking at them. I think I am. What is the source of those identifications? Isn't it, I think? If you're identified with your body, aren't you identified with your body through a thought or a series of thoughts? But isn't it the mind that identifies with the body? If there were no thoughts at all, is it possible that the body could be here without identification with it? Look at this honestly, question honestly. This is inquiry. Is it possible the reason you're identified with your body is primarily because of thought? I think I am. Is it possible that without thought, the body could still be present and there would be no identification with it? Let's try that same line of inquiry with the personality. If this is something you've identified with, is it thought that says, I am this personality? Whether that personality is seen as smart or stupid, funny or dull, responsible or irresponsible. Isn't it the mind that says, that's what I am? Is it possible that the personality could happen without identification if thought was not saying, that's what I am? Isn't it thought that tells you that you're smart or dumb, responsible or irresponsible, funny or dull, popular or unworthy? Respected or not liked? Whatever thought says about you as the personality, isn't it thought saying it? Is it possible that the only reason there's identification with the personality or with the body is because thought speaks that identification? Is it possible that these identifications are actually secondary and that your primary identification is with thought? That what thought says, you believe. And so the primary identification is with thought. Can we honestly now say, I'm not really directly identified with my body. I'm not really directly identified with my personality or anything else, my house, my car, my family. What I'm primarily identified with is thought. All other identifications come from thought. Thought is the source of my identification, my identity of who I think I am. Is that true? If we can narrow it down to one primary identification now, which is with thought, what thought says, I believe. If thought says, I am the body, I think I am the body. If thought says, I am the personality, I think I am the personality. If we can narrow that down to just thought now, then we can inquire only into that one identification. If this is feeling true for you now, you can say to yourself, so I see that I think I am my thoughts. I see that I am identified with mind. So the question becomes, am I my thoughts? Am I my mind? Well, let's start by looking at what thoughts are. Again, we're going to utilize your memory banks here. You've had a lifetime of experience with thought, so we're going to look at that lifetime of experience. You might quickly recall the types of thoughts you had when you were 5 or 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever age you are now. Have your thoughts always been consistent? Surely the answer is no. Yet when you say I was 5, I was 10, I was 15, I was 20, I was 30, I was 40. Is there something in that word I that's always been consistent? I. Why don't you say, there was a 5-year-old girl or there was a 5-year-old boy? Why do you say I? Why don't you say, there was a 15-year-old girl or there was a 15-year-old boy? Why do you say I? The thoughts we know were not consistent over the lifetime, but the I was consistent, is consistent. So if I am consistent and my thoughts are always changing, dramatically changing between age 5 and your current age, between age 15 and your current age, can I really be my thoughts? Isn't it true that thoughts are merely an experience that appear? And I am beyond that. I am consistent, constant, and not really quite an experience, a presence. Can you say that's true? I am a presence. Can you look and say, as a presence, I am here? And when you look even in your memory banks, hasn't that always been true? Hasn't I always been present with a sense of here? Not only here, but now. When you were 5, wasn't I here now with whatever the experience was? And when you were 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 and 40, wasn't I always here now with whatever the experience was at the time? And right now, isn't I here now? Presence here now. Isn't that the consistency of what I am? Isn't presence here now the background of all experience? Isn't it the background as thoughts come and go? Isn't it the background as the body shifts and changes and as thought has thoughts about the body? Isn't it the background as events happen in the world? Isn't it the background as the personality is, however it is in the moment, and its smart moments and its dumb moments, and its funny moments and its dull moments, and its responsible moments and its irresponsible moments? Isn't it true that the body has changed over a lifetime? Thoughts have changed over a lifetime. The personality changes not only over a lifetime, but all of the time. But what is I? Is presence here now. That's what's consistent. That's what I am. Can you find anything uniquely personal in presence here now. Or is it vanilla? Impersonal? Not unique? Can you entertain the possibility that presence here now is the same for every human? That which is behind the mind, the background of thought, sort of the screen that thought appears on. Can you accept that presence here now is the same for every human? Even every animal. Just present here now. Just aware here now. Is it possible that the truest thing you can get to as what I am is presence here now, which is the same presence here now that every human and every animal experiences? Possibly even the insects and the fish, the birds. And if that presence here now is the same for all living things, is it possible that it has one source? Whatever we call that source. God, consciousness. And if I am genuinely, if I can see that what I am, what I have always been, the only thing that's been consistent over my entire lifetime is this presence here now. That's what's always been I. And that is shared with all things. It is common to all things. And that is common to the source. Then is it possible that I am the source? Can you find anything other than thought that says that definitely is not true? Is it possible that presence here now is what I am, what all things are, and what the source is? Amen. I'll just end the meditation there. I'll see you next week.